Before the world awakens, before the first buses fill the streets, before children begin walking to school, Africa is already moving. Fishing boats leave the shores of Senegal, farmers prepare their fields in Kenya, miners begin their descent in Zambia, market traders arrange colorful stalls in Ghana, engineers inspect bridges in Rwanda, programmers open their laptops in Lagos, pilots prepare aircraft in Ethiopia, doctors begin morning rounds in South Africa. 54 nations, more than 1 billion dreams, thousands of languages, hundreds of cultures, one continent. For generations, distance has separated opportunity. Mountains divided communities. Deserts slowed trade. Poor roads isolated villages. Broken infrastructure made simple journeys last days. Ideas traveled slowly. Businesses struggled to grow. Families remained separated by geography rather than choice. Yet every sunrise carried the same quiet promise. One day, Africa would no longer be connected only by history. It would be connected by highways, railways, electricity, technology, trade, and above all, its people. Because every great civilization begins with one powerful idea. And perhaps, the greatest idea Africa has ever imagined is not simply becoming richer, but becoming closer.
African valor, strong and true. Every single thing they do.
Look at any map. You'll see borders, straight lines crossing forests, lines cutting through rivers, lines stretching across deserts. Many were drawn long before the people living there had any say. But to ordinary Africans, those lines never stopped friendships. Music crossed them, languages crossed them, families crossed them, dreams crossed them. A trader in Uganda hoped to sell products in Tanzania. A software developer in Nigeria wanted customers in Ghana. A farmer in Malawi dreamed of reaching markets beyond neighboring countries. A university student in Botswana imagined working anywhere on the continent. The ambitions were already connected. The infrastructure simply had to catch up. People often believe roads are made from asphalt. Engineers know better. Roads are built from opportunity. Every kilometer connects a farmer to a customer, a child to a school, a patient to a hospital, a business to an investor, a dream to reality. Across Africa, bulldozers carve new highways through valleys. Bridges rise over rivers once crossed only by wooden boats. Railway tracks stretch toward cities that once seemed impossibly distant. Behind every machine stands an engineer. Behind every engineer, a vision. Not simply to shorten journeys, but to transform lives. Because when a road arrives, possibilities arrive with it. Listen carefully. That sound is more than steel meeting steel. It is progress. Across parts of Africa, modern railways are reconnecting cities, ports, and industries. A journey that once consumed days can now take hours. Goods travel faster, businesses grow stronger, families reunite more often, young people discover opportunities that once felt unreachable. Every train carries more than passengers, it carries confidence. Confidence that tomorrow can arrive faster than yesterday ever imagined. Long before airplanes crossed continents, Africa's coastlines welcomed the world. Ships carried spices, gold, textiles, knowledge, ideas. Today, those ports are transforming once again. Towering cranes stretch into the sky, containers move with incredible precision. Thousands of workers coordinate like a perfectly rehearsed orchestra. Every ship that arrives carries more than cargo, it carries possibility. A small business in Rwanda can now receive machinery from overseas. A cocoa farmer in Côte d'Ivoire can reach customers thousands of kilometers away. A clothing manufacturer in Ethiopia can export products across continents. Modern ports are not simply gateways to Africa, they are gateways for Africa. Because when trade flows freely, opportunity follows. Not every bridge is made from concrete. Some are invisible. They travel beneath oceans, across satellites, through fiber optic cables, across wireless towers. They carry something even more valuable than cargo. Information. A young software developer in Kigali launches an application. Seconds later, someone in Accra downloads it. A doctor in Nairobi consults specialists hundreds of kilometers away. Students in rural communities attend online lessons taught by teachers they have never met. Artists share African stories with audiences around the world. The internet has become Africa's newest highway, not carrying trucks, but carrying dreams. Every connection made shrinks the continent just a little more. A road connects people, but electricity transforms lives. As darkness falls, one village waits. Children gather beneath a newly installed streetlight. An elderly woman switches on the first electric bulb her home has ever known. A nurse plugs in medical equipment without worrying whether the batteries will last. A small bakery keeps its ovens running after sunset. Some celebrate quietly, others cheer. Many simply smile, because for the first time, night no longer means stopping. Across Africa, engineers climb transmission towers, solar technicians install panels beneath the blazing sun. Hydroelectric dams harness rivers that have flowed for thousands of years. Wind turbines spin across open plains. Every wire stretched, every solar panel installed, every transformer connected brings another community into the light. For generations, many African businesses looked beyond the continent for opportunity. But today, a different future is emerging. One where African businesses trade more easily with African neighbors. Imagine a carpenter in Zambia selling handcrafted furniture to customers in Botswana. A coffee producer in Uganda reaching cafes in Rwanda. Fashion designers in Ghana inspiring customers in Senegal. Technology companies in Kenya partnering with innovators in Nigeria. When barriers become smaller, markets become larger. Competition inspires excellence. Innovation accelerates. Jobs multiply. The success of one nation begins lifting another. That is the true power of connection, not replacing differences, but allowing every strength to reach everyone else. Walk into almost any African university today, and you'll find them. Young engineers sketching bridges, programmers designing applications, scientists developing clean energy, architects imagining smarter cities. Many are the first in their families to attend university. Some studied beneath candlelight. Others traveled hundreds of kilometers to reach classrooms. Yet they all carry something extraordinary. Belief. Belief that Africa's greatest chapter has not already been written. It is waiting for them. Every blueprint begins with a blank page. Every invention begins with a single idea. Every transformation begins with someone brave enough to ask, what if? What if villages generated their own electricity? What if every child had internet access? What if crossing Africa became easier than ever before? History belongs to those willing to build answers. Connection is not measured only in kilometers of road or megawatts of electricity or kilometers of railway. Its true measure is hope. Hope that a child born in a remote village can dream just as boldly as one born in the heart of a great city. Hope that talent will no longer be limited by geography. Hope that ideas can travel as freely as ambition. Africa has always possessed extraordinary people, extraordinary cultures, extraordinary resilience. Now, it is building extraordinary connections. The dream of one connected Africa is not about creating a continent where everyone becomes the same. It is about creating a continent where everyone has the opportunity to succeed together. Because when roads meet railways, when electricity meets education, when technology meets determination, and when millions of people decide to build rather than divide, something remarkable happens. A continent begins writing its next chapter, not as 54 separate stories, but as one great journey, one future, one people connected by possibility. The dream is no longer distant. It is already under construction. Every bridge, every railway, every fiber optic cable, every power line, every classroom, every entrepreneur, every engineer, every farmer, every student, every dreamer. Each one is laying another stone on the road toward tomorrow, and perhaps, years from now, future generations will not remember who built every bridge, or who laid every railway, or who installed every cable. They will simply inherit something priceless, a continent that chose connection over division, cooperation over isolation, hope over fear, a continent that believed its greatest strength was never beneath its soil. It was always within its people, and that is the dream of one connected Africa.